All righty, Brodyn should be popping on here in a second. There's Brodyn!
So, oh shit! Hang on, let's fix that.
And reverse your camera so that everybody can actually read it.
Yeah, well, everyone's half talented to do that anyway. So,
Holy! I remember when we started this a couple years ago, you couldn't figure that shit out. Look at you go, bud.
well, you saw at the start of this, I didn't know how to work the new laptop that Steph gave me to use.
Hey,
Couldn't-
that's all good. They can be a pain at times too. So
Who would have
that
thought
looks
it
like
would slide on the camera?
what we got. Gord on, Robin's on, Chad's on, Sergey's here, Ron's here.
I think I saw Samantha was on too.
Ron, don't leave your phone unattended. Mike will take crazy pictures. Every time we're around Ron, he walks away. He doesn't have Ron does not have a lock on his phone. So every time he walks away with his phone, we all grab it and take amazing pictures for him so that he doesn't forget who his friends are. So
That sounds like a Ron problem.
that's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah, Sam's here too. So
Yeah.
welcome everybody. Thanks for joining in. We're a little different this year as to what we're doing, but you know what? We're still going to host a few events, and we're still doing something. It was there was a lot of stuff that went on last year, and just so many of the directors had so many things going on this year. Um, Denise was running three of the derbies out in Saskatchewan, Manitoba. She got a new job. On top of the new job, her and Brian are moving. So they moved, and then they moved, and then they bought a cabin, and now they're moving out of this one into another house they're building. So
I think two or three moves so far, but
yeah, they're a bit. So they get the house should be done here fairly soon. So they're busy doing that. Carl Ball is crazy busy with work. He's got more stuff on his plate. Apparently, when the weather's nice, everybody likes Harleys. So Carl's been crazy busy here. Oh, well, Roy, I only say names when I see them comment. So I'm not looking to see who's actually watching. I can only see down the side here. So welcome, Roy. You're not missed, and it's not romper room. It's more like Captain Kangaroo, maybe, or Mr. Dress Up. Not even Mr. Dress Up. We don't have a Finnegan, but Mr. Dress Up, or maybe Polka Dot Door for the old people that remember that. Yeah. So this year, Flynn's been really busy as well. So we've had a lot of the directors just needed to have a year to step back. So we kind of just pulled it back. I'm not saying there won't be any other derbies that don't or that won't get announced, but right now we've got the two derbies here coming up next weekend, and we've got Cold Lake all scheduled. Who knows? We might have some other derbies that we just decide to say, hey, you know what? We're going to run a derby, and it's just going to be a simple thing. Oh yeah, Robin's been watching Facebook because yes, Finnegan would be Henry, and we have a Carlos. That's my mom's dog. We're babysitting my mom's dog while they're on a cruise up to Alaska. So he's actually laying on the floor underneath my desk as I speak. But yeah, so we wanted to give everybody a chance to kind of have a year to themselves to do what they needed to do. Um, it's been crazy. Like everybody has been so busy over the past few years. The trail has grown so tremendously. The events have been so popular that we just got to a point where we just kind of needed a little bit of a reset for everybody and kind of just take it a little easy. Uh, Evening, Rindy. Hello, Aaron. Nice to have you guys joining. So I chatted with Brodyn and just said, ahead of the derby coming up this weekend, you want to pop on with me, and we'll kind of chat about some stuff. Um, First thing I'm going to say is for anybody coming to the event next weekend, if you go to our WordPress site, so wckft.wordpress.com, go over to the events and you'll see the code of conduct. Download the code of conduct, read it because there are changes this year that we've implemented, and make sure you sign it. So now I'm just going to kind of go over, before we do a couple things, I'll just go over these, and I'm just going to kick on another light here so I can see my highlighted items.
You don't need glasses or anything.
It's a magnifying glass light.
Oh,
But I'm just using it for the light. But if I was to hold it closer, Brodyn,
oh there you go.
I do have the reading glasses, but I've got it far enough away that I don't need those at the moment. So for all of the events, we will be having the captain's meetings as normal online. The one thing we're going to change this year, though, is we will have a we'll have a document that you guys will all be signing, initialing your names on it at these events, saying that you either watched the online captain's meeting or you participated in one the night before or the morning of the Derby, just to make sure that people are well aware of what all the rules are that we have in place. We have had some issues. For anybody who hasn't joined us in a while, let's see, hold on here. Let me just pop this up. Darcy Lammy, and another newcomer, thanks to Robin. So she's doing her regular thing of getting us extra anglers. So welcome to the addiction, Darcy and Aaron. We hope to see you either this year or next year.
Robin's
So
like an
for
MLB
anybody,
recruiter. Robin's like an MLB recruiter. She's recruiting everyone. She's drafting people.
Yeah, she's pretty good. The one thing we did change, we changed it last year, but so for anybody that might not have been with us last year, we did extend our pre-fishing times until 8 p.m. instead of the 6 p.m. it used to be. The only thing that we ask is if you are going to be pre-fishing these events, let your organizer of the event know that you're out pre-fishing, so that at 8 o'clock they know to make sure that they're looking for you and make sure you're in from the water and nothing's happened. When we look at the motorized kayaks as well, again, it's going to be a tournament decision as to whether or not the motors are allowed. If motors aren't allowed, they need to be removed completely off the kayak. They can't have them in their kayak at any time during the event. As such, anglers can't have they can't go out with a motor and tool around and do a bunch of stuff, then come back in, dump their motor, and go out and fish, whether it's with a pedal or a paddle. From if at any time during the tournament day, so from 12 o'clock at night until the end of the tournament, you cannot have a motor in your kayak. So you can't run out in the morning with a motor, check on some spots, check the check and see what it's like out there. So the way we've got it written, it says, as such, anglers are not permitted to use electric motors at any time before or during a tournament on the day of the event. If an angler wishes to stop competing in a tournament and then utilize an electric motor, they must check out with the tournament organizer, and any fish caught after that time must not be submitted, nor will they be accepted as entries into the tournament. Once a motor is utilized, the angler may no longer compete in that day's tournament. If a motor is utilized prior or by the angler prior to the fishing in the tournament, i.e. the morning, in the morning on the day of the event, even if they're not fishing, they will forfeit their right to compete in the event, and they'll be disqualified from the tournament. So it's just a way to make sure that we see, and we talk to so many people that are running derbies down in other places, and you get these guys that down there. I've heard a lot from some guys south of the border where some of these guys are skirting the rules because they're like, well, when I was fishing in the event, they go out, they don't have a fishing rod, anything on board, but they're out with their motor and they've got their sonar and they're marking fish, they're marking locations and everything using their motors for that day. So we just really want to get ahead of it and make sure that that's not an issue. Now, as I said, not all of our events are motorless. Some of the events allow motors. Carl has always allowed motor out on Lesser Slave Lake. We've allowed motors for certain conditions. So it's up to the tournament organizer as to whether or not they will use motors. As always, we are barbless hook for all events, regardless of what any provincial regulations say. We will be barbless hooks on all events. PFDs must be worn at all times. The minute before you even step foot into your kayak, you should have your PFD on, done up and ready to go. You need your buoyant heaving line that needs to be at least 15 meters long, a bailer or a bilge pump, and a whistle, flashlight, or lights on your kayak. And the PFD line, pump, and signaling device or light are part of Transport Canada's requirements. So that's nothing to do with us. That's Transport Canada.
And to follow up on that, when people are obviously changing a jacket out or something like that, if they're taking their rain gear off, that's acceptable as long as you're putting it on straight away. It's not like, oh, I'm going to take it off and just leave it off for a bit and I'll change my stuff. It's like you take it off, take your jacket off, or you put your jacket back on, then you put your life jacket back on.
Yeah, absolutely. If it's raining and you've got a raincoat underneath your PFD, and all of a sudden it changes and you want to take that off or something, you're going to change outfits. That's absolutely fine. But like Brodyn said, you're not fishing when you do that. If you need to take your PFD off for some reason, bring your line in, change, put your PFD back on, and go fishing. We haven't really had an issue with it, but we just always like to make sure people are aware we do not allow lip grips of any kind to be utilized for our events. We're catch, photo, release. With that, if there is any evidence of a fish stringer in your kayak, your fish will not be counted. So if you're fishing, if there's a stringer laying in the back of your kayak and we can see it in the photos or it's laying in front of you, we're not going to count any of your fish and you're going to be disqualified from the tournament. When we talk about it, and I'll touch on this a few times, I've highlighted it a few times in these code of conduct and rules, you cannot restrain your fish. When you've got your fish on the bump board, your hand on that fish is the only thing that's allowed to stop that upward motion of a fish jumping off. You can have like a U-shaped board. Yeah, Gord. Yes. Hail's good for us.
Come on, Gord. It's been, what, has it twice or three times now I've been with Gord and it's hailed on us. Not the greatest time, but I think I've got the video of our first time at Sylvan. That was a fun time.
Yeah, well, I've got video of me and Jim Kind out on Battle Lake, and literally we were hunched over like this, and I'm videoing it, and you can see the splashes coming up out of the water, probably 5-6 inches, and we just kept fishing. We were pike fishing, and we kept going until all of a sudden the lightning started, and then we were like, yeah, we got a bunch of graphite sticking up in the air, and we booked her into shore.
So it's a Jim thing then, because Jim was also with us, so Jim's the problem.
It could be a Jim thing, yeah. His magnetism just attracts it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so your bump boards, nothing on top to hinder the fish's upward motion. You can have like a U-shaped board where it's closed on three sides, but they must be able to come up. The only thing that can impair their movement is your hand. When we talk about conduct, any form of unethical conduct at a WCKFT event will not be tolerated. Disrespect for the event host, the host site, fellow anglers or their property, so slandering, malicious behavior, suspicion of rule violations, anything that is perceived as undermining the event will be treated accordingly. This may involve a warning, a disqualification, banning from the series or the host site, and depending on how bad it gets, local authorities could be involved. We're a community of like-minded anglers, so we just want to make sure, any derogatory remarks, harassment, violence towards any of the anglers will not be tolerated. This includes any of the tournament organizers, anybody that's fishing our tournaments. If you have a beef with somebody, block them on social media. Don't go on and talk bad about somebody. We're trying to promote sustainable fishing in Canada. So if you've got a beef with somebody, you know what, just block them and move on. Just don't waste your time if you've got issues with somebody, because if it gets worse, you will be looking at bans. Following our rules and our regulations for the places we're at. Some of the places will allow alcohol to be consumed, some won't. Just being sure that we're aware of the regulations when it comes to alcohol and recreational drugs on the water. None of our kayaks are equipped with sleeping quarters or washrooms. So by law, you are not allowed. Yes, Brodyn, peeing in the water is not a washroom.
My lawn chair is kind of a sleeping area though too.
It needs to be an actual sleeping area.
No, I know.
I think it's worded sleeping cabin.
Yes.
And washing facilities.
Yes.
So as a result, we are not allowed to be drinking alcohol on the water, and with that comes the same with the recreational drugs. If you wanna have a smoke, go into shore, go to your own campsite, and do it there. As well with that, just when we are camping at these facilities, be aware that all of these facilities are open to the public. So we really need to be cognizant of the fact that when we're in there, we don't want people smoking right by the docks and by the launches and stuff like this. It gives the whole tournament series and us kayak anglers a bad name. Fish mortality, we've talked about this. If you have a fish that dies, reel your lines in. You'll be told in your captain's meeting, you'll be told where to take the dead fish to. You bring your lines in, go put your deceased fish in that, and then you can start fishing again. The photos. So we've got, same as every year,
cards.
We've got the plastic cards, so you'll be given a code by your tournament organizer. That's what you'll put on there. That needs to be in the photo. I'm going to say this right now, and we've told people for years, write it on your card, then write your name and that code on your hand as well, because if all of a sudden something happens and you lose that card while you're trying to bring in a fish, at least have that there. Get hold of your organizer and say, hey, I lost my card. I took a picture. My name and the code is on my hand. Can I come grab another card? We'll get you one. But don't just keep fishing if you do lose it. Let's really make sure we're looking at that. Simple things about the fish. We're wanting to make sure that we're kind of measuring the fish out of the wind, looking after them. Watch go to our WordPress site. In the media, there's a video by Brodyn about catch, photo, release. He does a great job of showing wetting the board, keeping the fish in the net, all of that kind of stuff. So just kind of go through and practice that before you come to one of the tournaments. We want to handle these fish really well. When we're talking about the pictures, these are a few things that we've put in place that we've noticed we've had issues over the years. So for your photo submission, your measuring board must be perpendicular. Your kayak is running this way. The measuring board needs to run perpendicular to it. So we're coming straight across. You can't have it running the same direction as the kayak. It needs to be sitting across from you. Your bump on it is going to be on the left side. Anybody who's got something that it's, the flambeau, the plano, there was all these expandable boards and stuff. If there isn't a clear distinction in the numbers and the lines, if it's just extruded plastic, take a Sharpie and draw that in to make it easier for us to see. We need that clear distinction. If you don't have a factory made bump board, you need to bring that to us to look. One other thing is your fish, the mouth is closed when you do it. Close their mouth, put them up against the bump board. And that's kind of a standard rule that runs pretty much any of the derbies. I just see Roy just wrote that. Yeah, so Roy, like, literally grab the fish, kind of close its mouth, and as you put it up to the board, it'll normally keep its mouth shut because their lower lip is sticks out a little bit beyond their upper lip, so that'll keep it closed. And the reason is it's not so bad with us for trout or stuff like that, but once you start getting into the like the bass and stuff, it can make an actual difference. So across the board, we've just said that that's what we're going to do. You can share measuring boards. The only thing is it must be in your kayak when you're taking the picture. Your hands can cover the middle section of the fish. Any fingers or any pictures we get where the fingers are in the gill plates or covering over the eyes or something like that, you got to stay back from the gill plate when you're holding that fish. Your sliding boards, bring them to your tournament organizer and show there's got to be a black line that's physically visible on the side of it, that when we look at the picture, we can see that line to it so we can ensure it's fully extended. If we can't see the fish, the whole image of the fish, we're going to go by the biggest number we can see. So it might be a 30-inch pike, but if all we are able to tell is up to 12 inches, you're only going to get to 12 inches. So make sure you're using a good quality board. The fish head has to be to the left side of the angler and the fish's belly towards you. There is no, you can't have it flipped over or anything. And the reason why we do that is because every picture needs to be identical so that we can ensure that when we're getting a fish picture submitted, it's not the same fish but flipped over, because your markings will be different from side to side. So it needs to be belly to belly, mouth closed, off to the left side. So anything observed in the gills, so whether it's your hand, your tag, anything like that, your fish is denied. If you are outside of your kayak when you're taking the picture, your fish is denied. If your kayak is not fully in the water, if it's somewhere where it's windy and you're just kind of up against shore and rocking against shore, you're fine. If your kayak is partially beached on shore, your fish is going to be denied. This is a kayak fishing tournament, so you need to be in your kayak taking a picture on the water. Not belly to belly, or the head isn't on the left side, it'll be denied. If your picture is taken on the bump board inside of another person's kayak, again, it'll be denied. Anytime that if we can't see for some reason or other, we can't make that clear distinction of where the fish starts at the head of that bump board, we take 2 inches off the fish. So make sure your hand is back and you're getting a good enough angle. You're not shooting way over like this where we can't clearly distinguish that. Sergey, slight deviation from perpendicular. Yeah, you know what? As long as you're not past probably like 45 degrees, I don't see it being an issue. It will be up to the tournament director. But ultimately, we just don't want those pictures of the head way up here and the tail back here, because we can't clearly define where it starts and where it ends. Again, we talked about the PFDs. If you're competing without a PFD on, you'll get a warning your first time, and that might be from the director, or it might be from another angler saying, hey, put on your PFD. So if you're out on the water and you see somebody without a PFD and you've talked to them, let the tournament organizer know that, hey, so and so wasn't wearing a PFD, and I talked to them, because then if we have to talk to them or somebody else has to talk to them again, we're going to start imposing penalties up to and including expulsion from the tournaments. So I know some of this stuff seems like a little bit, everybody, some people might look at it and go, wow, that's a little harsh. But as we continue to grow, this year's not so bad because we've got less, but I mean, we're growing, and next year we'll have more of the tournaments back next year once people get going. Like Taryn's not running his derby down south this year because with a little baby, we're happy that he's able to come out and fish at the trout derby at all. So, like I said, we're gonna be seeing more. We're gonna be seeing more and more tournaments again next year. Roy, will there be measuring boards for sale at the tournament? I believe we'll have some boards around, whether we have some for sale or we have some that we can lend out or give out. There will be extra boards there, so don't worry about it. Gord Bus, amazing sponsor for the trail. Gord has sponsored over the years amazing prize packs of his lures. So, Gord, welcome, and thank you again for the support that you've shown us over the years. Have you seen this, Brodyn?
Looks like a waterproof speaker.
Waterproof floating speaker. It's got a magnetic mount, plus it's got a little piece that goes into the T-track. Yak Power, they should be here before the Derby. If not, I'll make up a couple things. We have 2 of these to give away at the Derby this year. They're awesome. And so whoever wins them, we can, all 3 of us, I'll bring mine, and all 3 of us can hook ours together and have a party. They all kind of like link into each other if you want to do like a DJ mode. So we'll all surround Brodyn, and we'll play like Hank Snow. Play old country. So yeah, so that's kind of our major rule changes. Like I said, if you go on to the website, download the code of conduct, read it over, send it in. I know Brodyn does have some news for Cold Lake, so we might as well talk about it now.
Do I?
Do you?
No. So same idea as last year. Basically, August long weekend. There will be actually, as Mike said about motors and stuff, we will actually be allowing electric motors at Cold Lake this time. Just obviously bigger lake, and some of our contestants being a little bit older and stuff. And to sort of get with the times, we're going to give it a go this year and see how people like the idea of electric trolling motors and stuff. Because like I said, get with a lot of, as we update the rules over the years to catch up with a lot of the other associations and such, we obviously will most likely transition into a trolling motor league.
Yeah, and we've been, I mean, let's be honest, we've been talking about it for a couple of years. Yeah, and I can see more and more motors going on. Thanks, Brodyn, for the shout out about us old guys. That's wonderful to hear.
You got the barge thing with a trolling motor that you could throw on.
I don't have a motor for it yet. I haven't even brought it home. It's still sitting up at Aqua. So the one that I've got here is the demo version of it. My actual kayak is still wrapped in plastic with a cardboard around it, standing up at Aquabatics in the warehouse. I got to go pick it up. So
with a Jackson sticker on it.
Did you?
I don't know.
Attaboy. Somebody better have, because for how many times I did that to Andy over the one year at the Sportsman Show, Andy came and worked before he worked for Aquabatics. And he came out, and Andy's shtick was when he would talk to people, he would pull the rudder out of his Kusa and he would hold it up and show people. And he always did it the same way and never looked at it. So I slapped a wilderness sticker on the side of his rudder. So he would hold up a wilderness sticker for everybody. It was spectacular. I do want to say this. Robin and her mom, Kathy, are doing a supper Saturday night again at the Trout Derby. And then there'll be kind of soup and sandwiches, whatever's left over kind of thing for lunch on the Sundays. So thank you again for that, Robin. Thank you again, Rimby Fish and Game, and for letting us use the campground, and Ron and Robin for being huge advocates for us for hosting our derbies out there. That's amazing. Chad, I'll tell you what, bud. You buy the motor. I've got the tactical. We'll just share it, and then we'll have to split the money on buying a trailer to tow it around on. But I'm good with that.
If you want to get blown around Cold Lake, because that's so big.
Well, and it's. Oh, Robin says they have the smallest fish prize.
So is it just easier if you just give it to Ron now?
I'm pretty sure that might be me this year. Yeah, so like Brodyn said, with the motors and stuff, I'll be honest. I would imagine within the next year to 2 years, we will likely see most events open up to motors, just because of the fact that the fastest I've seen, unless somebody's going stupid with a motor, the fastest I've really seen a kayak do with a motor is 6.5 miles an hour. And I can get, when I had my radar 115s, I was doing, if you're really pumping it, you could do 5.5 miles an hour. I know the Jacksons are the same, kind of the Hobies. We can all do that 4.5, 5 miles an hour comfortably without really overdoing it. So the whole thing with the motor, the only thing is the motor makes it nice. Back in the day, before we had pedal drives, going against paddle kayakers, but now that we've got pedal drives, I likely see us allowing motors potentially for next year or the year after at the latest. So,
Yes, Chad, you're a welder, and you also are terrible at grammar.
I are welder. Can't spell it, but I are one.
Too many galvanized fumes or something, probably.
Could be.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, don't count out anything else not happening this year, whether it's a full-fledged tournament or just a fun, hey, let's do a pop-up cash derby. We've done it in the past. Years and years ago we did it. A bunch of us went out to Battle Lake, and we met at Battle Lake. Everybody threw in $20, and the biggest fish won the prize. So, if you want to do something like that for this year in your area as well, absolutely. Let's chat about it. We can help you promote it. Like I said, we've had an unbelievable run with the trail, and we have a lot of people that have a lot of stuff going on. A lot of people that have a lot of stuff going on in their personal lives that we felt it was just time to give all of the organizers a break as well. I know a bunch of us have already chatted about next year coming back just as big and strong as we've been. So, let's keep going with that. Brodyn?
Yes. August 2nd. August long weekend is the 2nd. Well, the Saturday of the long weekend is the 2nd.
Yeah.
We'll also be a little bit tighter this year just because they didn't allow us to take over the whole campground.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows? It's I've noticed even the Trout Derby, we don't have quite as many people as we had last year. So with that, I'm going to say, if you are planning on coming to the Trout Derby and you haven't reached out to us, let us know, because we need to make sure that we have enough prizes and that we have enough food. So I would like to say that by Monday, Tuesday at the absolute latest, we kind of need to know who's coming to the event for the Trout Derby. The Sucker Derby, it's the sucker derby on the Sunday is a cash derby, so we're not overly concerned about that. But if you're planning on coming to the trout derby, please make sure you reach out to us on Facebook through the Western Canada Kayak Fishing Trail. Send a message and say, hey, I'm coming. If you're planning on coming and you're just going to pay cash when you get there for the derby, you're camping, all that kind of stuff, or you don't need camping, please still let us know so that we can make sure that we've got enough for everybody. Roy, 6,000 rainbow put in. The average size, here we go. So some 4-inch all the way up to 14-inch, mainly in that 6 to 10. So as always, we're going to have that. Don't ever count yourself out for catching 4 or 5, 10.5-inch rainbows, because that, if nobody catches a brood, that could win you something. So
Yes.
That's what I love about fishing the stocked rainbows. It's anybody's game.
Don't forget, it is only caught on a fly, hence the name.
Only on a fly. And Wednesday next week we'll be hosting the actual online captains meeting for it. So
yeah.
No broods got stocked this year. Robin, did any get? Do we know if any overwintered? I imagine there's probably a few that overwintered in there, but
I released mine that I caught last year.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it's there was some winter kill on the lake, so I'll let everybody know now, and I'll be saying it again next week. Depending on winter kill. So the trout were a winter kill, so it's all going to be smaller stuff. Depending on if anybody's catching suckers, we'll probably look at adding trout into the sucker derby as well, just to at least make it a little bit of fun. It'll be kind of an all tackle. You can catch them on whatever you want. I'll look and see how we're going to do with it. I'll chat with Robin and stuff once I get out there, and if we're going to do it, we'll probably put a little handicap on the trout just to reduce the points that you get for them to really showcase the people that are able to catch the suckers. But we'll figure that out as we get closer. So Robin says the majority of the suckers died off, so we'll very likely be a trout on the fly and then a all tackle sucker trout derby the next day. So
there's one out there.
Huh?
Well, like with the suckers, there's one out there. Right there. You screwed up the mirror.
Yeah, well, I pointed towards you, but I forgot my camera's reversed. So one of these two ways, there's a sucker. But yeah, so, like I said, everybody, Brodyn and I really want to thank everybody that's going to be coming out and supporting the derbies this year. We didn't want to just shut everything off completely. We understand that a lot of our directors just needed some personal time, and we're happy to help it. Yeah, Taryn, the first sucker derby. The first sucker derby was, I think it was Tim Norman or somebody won it. Ben would have won it, but his dumbass dad, because it was a catch and bonk derby for the suckers on Dixon. When we put the rope through the mouth of the sucker, we went to tie it up. I didn't tie it up right because Ben hooked up again, and I tried to help him, and the sucker dropped away. But we had pictures of him with the sucker, so everybody awarded him second place. And then that was the first year. And the second year we had, I think it was an 18-way tie for first place, where nobody caught a sucker. So that's about where the sucker derby ended until we found Open Creek Dam. So, it was good times. But yeah, so thank you everybody for kind of sticking it out with us this year. We know that a lot of people are a little upset that we don't have more of the derbies going. Still trying to work with some people in those areas to see if they're willing to put something on get something going. If they can, we'll absolutely let you know. But we really want to just kind of make sure everybody knows that we appreciate not only our directors for their hard work that they've put in, but we appreciate all of you anglers for coming out and fishing with us over the years. Oh, there you go, Gord. It was 21. Yeah, 21 tied for first place. And if I'm not mistaken, that was the year that the guy came from the bakery in Spruceview and brought us. Even though we all sucked and nobody caught a sucker, the guy came from the bakery in Spruceview and brought us like 8 dozen fresh donuts or something like that. He just was driving by and saw us all, and he gave us a bunch of donuts. So it was amazing. Yeah, Rindy is not making it out this year, but I will say right now, Rindy has sent me 2 gift certificates from his new bait company, Rubber Duck Bait Co. There will be a prize at the Trout Derby, and yeah, you're shaking your head.
Rubber ducky. No.
There'll be a prize at the Trout.
It's a good name. I like it.
A prize, an ice fishing prize pack for the winner of the Sucker Derby, compliments of Rindy as well. So thanks for that, Rindy. That's great to see, and good luck in your endeavors creating with your bait company. I know you've been really busy. He won't be coming with us because Rindy's girls are going to watch Rindy dance in a recital. I mean, Rindy's watching his girls. Well, maybe either way. Who knows? Do you want to watch Rindy dance in a recital? We should do that.
I'm pretty sure if you type that into AI, you could get something going.
I'm pretty sure that maybe that's something we need to do at one of our events is have like a dance off.
Oh God, no. No way.
Yeah. I can just see it now. We get Brodyn versus Taryn versus Trevor in a dance off.
I don't dance.
Well, then you lose.
No, that's fine. I'll accept defeat. That's fine.
Brodyn, anything else you want to chime in on?
No, not really. I think you've covered it. I can send him with some. I am not 100% sure because we are scheduled on shutdown work with the oil, the stupid plants. So I am 70%, 80% sort of going, but I'll be late. That's the only issue. So,
Gord, if you want, I'm up in Edmonton. I'm up in my office in Nisku on Monday. So send me a message. Maybe we can meet up Monday night then, and I can just grab it from you.
no,
there you go. Sam's got
way.
it perfect. Here you go. Oh, somebody else commented. There you go. There we go. If nobody catches a sucker at the Sucker Derby, it's going to be a dance-off voted by everybody who wins the money. And that'll be a pretty penny, too. If we were to do it that way, just hold on. Let me see here. We have quite a few people registered for that. If nobody catches a sucker, let's see what we're sitting at. Yeah, there's like over $1,400 for the Sucker Derby. That could be one hell of a dance off. Gord says he'll bring his Starlink so we can watch. Gord, I'll have my Starlink as well. I'll have a 36-inch TV so that we can watch hockey as well. So
yes, we can. It's good that the Vancouver's not in it. It's so much more peaceful.
Well, yeah, because nobody cheers because the Oilers lost. Like, what the hell?
It's fine. It's fine. It's just one game.
They got to give them game one. Let's be honest. They had to give them game one, or else Bettman would have just canceled the whole Stanley Cup playoffs.
Possibly. Who knows?
But yeah, no. So like I said, anybody that wants to fish the trout or the sucker derby, please let me know by Monday. Reach out to me through the Facebook page. Brodyn, we can probably start registrations at any time for the Cold Lake Derby, but we'll kind of hold off until at least we get these other derbies done,
Yep.
so that we don't have to worry about it. But so everybody just kind of that plan that you're gonna fish on the August long weekend up in Cold Lake. And if anybody wants to run some fun little derbies, little cash prize, you show up, you submit your money, and biggest fish takes it or whatever, let us know. We'll give you a hand in setting those up.
For sure.
And with that, I mean, we've got some. It's a tough year. I'm going to say right now, it's a really tough year on sponsorship as well. So I would really like to thank our long-term sponsors. Nikki Reckman has been with us since day one of the East Slope back in 2010. Kokatat has donated another dry suit to us. Werner Paddles, Old Town has donated a kayak again. Scotty's on board with us. NRS, Mustang, Yak Attack, Getting Hooked Lures has got a prize pack for us. So, we really want to thank all of these sponsors for everything that they always do with us. I've said it all the time. If your company has stuff that you would like to donate and you're coming out to the event, be it t-shirts, hats, Yeti mugs, absolutely anything, bring it out. We can just keep adding them to these prizes. Huge thank you out to Aquabatics as well here in Alberta. They've been with us for so many years. They've supplied so many of us with our kayaks, our gear, all this kind of stuff. They have stepped up huge again this year with donations and putting on demo days and stuff. So I just want to say thanks to Simon and Tom and the gang down at Aquabatics and Andy up at Aquabatics Edmonton. If you're in the Edmonton area and you're looking for a kayak, go chat with Andy up there. If you're down Calgary way, go in and chat with the guys. There's amazing products there. For the BC folks, go out and check Western Canoe and Kayak. Ryan and the guys out there, amazing. They all kayak fish. They're all I think they were hit in the head as children, so they all do whitewater kayaking. So if you want to check into that, go see them for that. As we move into Saskatchewan, you've got Jonas out at Classic Outdoors. You've got Stillwater Adventures out in Manitoba. These are kind of our main guys that have helped the trail over the years.
And rubies.
And rubies. I wasn't going to say rubies because the problem with rubies is, unfortunately, we don't have a Rubies Derby this year. But go up, stay at Overland Resort, go out, fish Mosier Lake, go into Rubies, get some gear. They have been phenomenal over the year. I'm probably going to guess that if you were to go and stay up at Overland and go into Rubies, you got a really good chance of bumping into Flynn up there this year. I think he's going to be spending a lot of time up there fishing. So you don't get much northern for a store than that supports us. Flin Flon, Creighton area, go and see Ruby's Outdoors. They have supplied us with so many great prizes over the years. The bump boards that we give out for Angler's Choice, that kind of stuff, those have all come from them. Overland has donated over the years. So yeah, if you're looking for a great northern Saskatchewan / Manitoba fishing adventure, check out Overland for your stay and go into Ruby's. Alana will hook you up with everything. Tell them that Flynn sent you. Don't mention me. Don't mention Brodyn. Say that Flynn sent you there. and that you were told that it's the best store around. Because when
It
you're
is.
going up there, and now I want to say, I wish Flynn was watching right now. I can't see who's actually watching. Can I? No. Um, Kind of around that same weekend that they always held the Derby, that July long weekend. I think there's like a trout festival up there. So reach out to us. I'll reach out to Flynn, see what's going on up there, and I'll post it on our page. But absolutely, there's a lot of great times up there to be had. If you want to fish the Canadian Shield, go check them out, because you're literally fishing the Canadian Shield. They're the guys that have been up there have shared some amazing pictures. So we've got that. I know that there was still potential talk about looking at doing something out at Wellman. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but so there's that. If anybody wants to step up and organize a derby for Vaso Lake again, or somewhere in BC for bass, anything like that, if you want to run a derby, and we can keep it pretty small and make it pretty simple. So if you want to run a derby this year, let us know, and hey, it will just add to what we got going next year. Maybe Brodyn will get some time off and be able to fish a few more derbies next year.
No. I got asked to work 7 days a week, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. But yeah.
Well, you can work 7 days a week.
No, 6/12s is more than enough.
Well, you see, here's the problem. If you worked at a computer, you just hook up your Starlink, because I'll be working Thursday and Monday out at Open Creek Dam and not worrying about it. So
Yeah. That's fine.
that's why my hands aren't full of scars.
They're fine right now. They just got a lot of callus on them right now.
Right now.
All the time.
That's great. Thanks, Brodyn, for coming on. Thank you for still continuing this year to host the Cold Lake. That's going to be a great one for everybody that's able to make it. As I said, if you want to come out to the Trout and the Sucker Derby, please let me know by Monday if you can, so that we can arrange, make sure we've got enough prizes, make sure we have enough food. And if you want to host a get-together where it's like an actual full tournament, or just here's everybody puts in $20 and see who gets the biggest fish, whatever, let us know. But other than that, please reach out to either Brodyn, myself, or the Kayak Trail. We'll answer whatever questions we can for you guys. And for everybody that's coming out to the Trout Derby, I will see you live on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Night, Brodyn. Go Oilers. Woo, woo.
Yes, go Whalers.